Hi, Assalamualaikum to Madam Rosilawati and fellow friends. Before we start, I would like to introduce my group members, which are Nur Habibah, Nur Azwairdina, Nur Natasha Umira, Muhammad Nur Iqbal, and myself, Aina Ahmad Zabidi. And we are going to present our event proposal, Festival du Tourisme. Festival du Tourisme is a platform where students can explore the wonder of tourism that exists in different aspects. The purpose of this event is to promote tourism technology through the iPod activity and gastronomy in Worldwide Food Festival and Tourism Talk. Other than that, this event also promotes healthy lifestyle by conducting Lendu Futsal Championship, which the tournament is open for every student. Some of the problems encountered are most students are not properly exposed to other cultures outside Malaysia and also IR 4.0 development. Students also are lack of knowledge in entrepreneurship, low confidence and have low social skills. Hence, why we decided to run this event is to overcome the academic, physical and social problems among university students.
There are four objectives for the event. Firstly, to enhance the creativity and innovation skills of the participants. Secondly, to boost the participants' confidence level. Thirdly, to educate the participants about cultural food around the world. And lastly, to enhance the participants' critical thinking in planning strategy. Three significance of the event are: firstly, the innovative product created will help the future of the tourism industry. Secondly, it will give exposure to the participants about cultural food exists in the world. And lastly, it helps to widen up participant perspective about tourism industry. Two target audience for the events are the students and lecturers in UiTM Alor Gajah campus.
The detail of the event, as we all know, there is a various type of culture in this world. Therefore, this event was held to celebrate and introduce new culture to the local university student. Hence, Festival du Tourisme is born. This event will be held for 2 days from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. The activities included in the event are Worldwide Food Festival, Tourism Talk, Gastronomy and Travel, iPod, Innovation Planning and Develop, and lastly, Lendu Futsal Championship. This event will take place in UiTM Alor Gajah Melaka from 9th to 10th of January 2021. For the implementation of strategies, it is important for us to get the approval of UiTM management to use the facilities for the event. So, the first thing that needs to be done is submit the proposal to the management. After getting the approval, then the student will be separated into different bureaux and will be doing their job based on the job scope of the particular bureau. The bureau are as follows. Sponsorship Bureau, responsible to find sponsor to the event from outside fund. The Logistic Bureau, handling all the equipment and facilities needed for the event. Marketing Bureau, in charge of promoting the event to the public. Social Media Bureau, responsible for creating banners, logo, poster and social media needed for the event. To attract more students to attend to the event, the marketing team will promote the event at UiTM's Alor Gajah Night Market and Dining Halls 2 months prior before the event. And lastly, 5 days before the event will take place, there will be a rehearsal done to minimize any flaws that can happen in the official event. For the tentative of the event would be as follows. For the first day, at 9 a.m., iPod participants will be displaying their innovation to the crowd. And at 10 a.m., Worldwide Food Festival will begin. At 1 p.m., opening ceremony will be officiated by Deputy Rector of UiTM Melaka. At 2:30 p.m., start of Tourism Talk, Gastronomy and Travels. For the second day, at 9 a.m., Lendu Futsal Championship will begin. And at 3 p.m., closing ceremony will begin and will be officiated by YB Yo Chin Chai, Pengarah Jabatan Kementerian Pelancongan Seni dan Budaya Malaysia MOTAD. At 5 p.m. will be the end of closing ceremony, thus leading to the end of the event.
There are several platforms that have been used by communities members to promote Festival du Tourisme, which is through social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter and WhatsApp. Next is by offline platform where the communities distribute posters and flyers, and lastly is by hanging banting and banner around the campus. The total estimate budget for the event is RM3,842.95. In terms of potential funder, the Sponsorship Bureau have reached out several organizations for donation. The organizations are MK Advertising Sdn Bhd, Sport Unit in UiTM Alor Gajah Melaka, and Ministry of Tourism art and culture, while for our source of income is from donation of 50 ringgit from each committee's member, lectures from tourism management study, and by conduct a small business. Here is the list of main power for the event, which consists from 44 members of tourism management students. Each of the members have been given up their own position and the team is led by the project leader.
The elements of interpersonal communication in this event. Upward communication is a process when lower levels of organization communicate directly with upper management. In this event, this element occurs when the top committee members communicate with UITM's upper management such as academic affairs and treasurer to get the approval to run this event. This element is relevant as it ensures our event will run smoothly, and if any problems arise, we will directly report to them. Downward communication is the communication where messages flow from upper organization to the bottom organization. This element occurs in this event when UITM's top management respond to our top committee members regarding the approval of this event, and the project leader will send the message to other committee members to start planning on their respective duties. This element is relevant as it shows the UITM's top management is already acknowledged about this event that will take place soon, and to make sure the event will turn out great as planned. Conflict may arise from misunderstanding about the job's nature, objectives and goals, and various expectations about how things should be done. During the discussion of this event, there are various opinions and perceptions among the committee members, which it leads to small arguments between them. Some of them argued about the flow of the event, the budget, and many more. It is totally fine to have a conflict in a team as it allows people to innovate better suggestions and enhance creativity among group members. Channel refers to the medium which messages go between the source and the recipient via multiple channels such as face-to-face contact. In this event, channel occurs when the Logistic Bureau communicate face-to-face with the Facilities Management Division regarding the facilities we want to borrow such as tables, chairs, and tents. This element in terms of face-to-face contacts is relevant as it will avoid misunderstanding or miscommunication between two parties.
Feedback are the messages that is written by the receiver as a response, and this will allow the sender to acknowledge the receiver's reaction. As to related to iPod activity, feedback is very important since the contestants of iPod will be communicating with the judges and other panels who will be listening to their explanation. This element is relevant for iPod activity since contestants need the feedback from the judges during the evaluation to make sure the messages are well delivered. Judgment is an interpretation made by the receiver to analyze the messages they receive. Judgment in iPod activity will be effective during the presentations by the contestants, and this is when the judges will interpret the messages they receive, then converted it into a judgment. This element is relevant in iPod activity since the contestants need a good judgment from the judges. Assertiveness is when a person could confidently express themselves by telling their opinions in fair, honest, and calm way instead of being aggressive, defensive, or passive. To relate this element with iPod activity, it is important for the contestants to be assertive while delivering messages towards the judges during their presentation. Assertive is relevant to iPod activity since it is important for the sender to be able in delivering the messages with confidence but in a calm manner and able to accept the other's opinion. Context is about the environmental and surrounding factors that will influence the outcome of communication. To relate it with the iPod activity, the messages that are sent by the senders will be affected by some factors like the roles between the judges and the contestants. This role will affect the outcome of communication, and it can be seen through the way the sender deliver their messages. Context is a relevant element to be in iPod activity since there are few environmental factors that could influence the way the contestants communicate with the judge.
Negotiation is a process between two parties to find a balance in an agreement that they both agree without having any arguments. These elements occur between the food seller and buyer, especially when the buyer wants to negotiate about the price, the quantity or amount of the food, and also the ingredients that were used to prepare the food. This element is relevant as long as it is not causing any loss or affecting the seller business. Culture is referred to communication between two people that have different culture. It is a disadvantage in communication process. This element occur in two situations in the event. Firstly, when non-tourism students come to the event, it's hard for them to appreciate the real value of cultural food, unlike the tourism student. Secondly, it occurs when the seller needs to use a language that everyone will understand instead of using the language where the food comes from. For example, if they are selling a Chinese food, they cannot speak in Mandarin as not everyone will understand the language. This element is not relevant as it could cause misleading or misinterpretation as it acts as a barrier in communication process. Noise is a resistance or barrier in the communication process between the sender and the receiver. In this event, this element can be found when the sellers are competing with each other in promoting their cultural food to their potential customer. This element is not good as it disturbs the communication process and could lead to miscommunication. Source is referred to the sender of the message or the one who initiates to start the conversation. In this event, this element can be found when the seller is promoting their cultural food to the potential customer, as this sparks people's intention to buy their product. This element is very good and also relevant as without it, there will be no complete communication process occur between the sender and also the receiver.
Sender is the encoder or source of the message, the person who chooses to communicate, and the intent of the message is the sender. In our event, which is Festival du Tourisme, the element can be used in all of the activities under our event, especially under the activity of travel talks, gastronomy, and travels. The activity which will invite industry players and professional chefs to demonstrate, to give or talk about cultural cuisine. They will send their message, which is the speech they prepared, to the audience, which is the receiver. Sender is definitely pertinent to the activity as it plays a huge role in the talk since the content of the speech needed to be delivered to the audience. Receiver is the person who decodes the message and attempt to understand the message sources. As the sender sending the message, the receiver need to decode the message they receive from the sender. The audience will try to decode the message sent by the talk host and try to digest and interpret the information they receive. Sender and receiver coexist with each other to create a communication between people. Therefore, receiver is relevant to the activity. Medium is a communication channel or platform means by which information is conveyed between a person speaking and a listener. With extra help from the medium such as a visual aid, video montage, a presentation slide and demonstration to the message from the talk host can be delivered to the audience and make sure the audience are focused on the topic so they can understand the message better. Thus, medium is one of the important aspects in this activity where it helps both of the audience and the talk host. Back channeling is a feedback provided to demonstrate interest, attention, or a willingness to keep listening while someone else is talking. As the travel talk, gastronomy, and travel progress, the talk hosts need to get some feedback from the audience by interacting with them. This element is important and relevant as it provides feedback to the talk host so they can see the level of understanding of the audience.
Nonverbal is the transmission of message through nonverbal platforms such as facial expression, gesture, and eye contact. Nonverbal could happen either during giving or receiving while communicate. Nonverbal element in communication can be positive or negative, depends the way you act. In Lendu Futsal Championship, the committee's members have to communicate with players and at the same time must focus on their task. So during this time, they must careful not to show any bad gesture or impression due to their stress and tiredness to show respect. Teamwork element is the collaborative effort of a group to achieve a common goal or to complete a task in the most effective and efficient way. The biggest key in the teamwork is communication, listen, respond, and share idea where it will bring success to the event. The activity of Futsal Championship during the event requires the committee to work in a team and share their opinion to create the best outcome for the event. Relationship refers to a strong association among individuals working together in the same organization and share special bond for them to deliver their best level outcome of work. A good relationship will create harmony and respect in the team. In the event, committee members will work and help each other. Even though they come from the same course, there are still mutual respect exists. In futsal championship, the member will also work with other students in different courses, and this will create a good relationship between students from tourism management and others faculty. Environment element affect the way people communicate with each other depends on the situation they are in. Location, rank, and issues are some of the reasons that can contribute to those change. During the new futsal championship, committee's members have to communicate with different people from different backgrounds, and they also use different platforms while communicate. So the way they communicate or react to it, the other person will be also different.
In a conclusion, interpersonal communication elements are very important since the elements are used as a measuring tools toward the effectiveness in communication between sender and receiver and the process of transferring messages. This event is getting good responses from our target audiences since by joining this event and participating in the activities will give a lot of advantages and benefits, especially for the students. As for the future events, it is recommended to implement as many interpersonal communication skills as it could, since it will give many benefits towards the audiences and people who participate.
And that is all from us. Thank you for your kind attention.